All right, moving on in the Neill Blomkamp franchise or filmography, we've got Elysium with Matt Damon, Jodie Foster, and Charlotte Copley, however you say this fucking guy's name. I love him in this as Krueger. Well, I mean, obviously, Freddy Krueger is what I'm going to think of when I hear the name Krueger, but it's a great name, and he plays such a wimp in the first movie. You know, he's got the comb over and he's got like a pocket protector and a freaking calculator, and he's like the weakling that becomes an alien. And in this movie, he's the character that he is fighting against in the first movie, essentially, in District 9. That commando dude that's coming after him is relentless and is this skilled tactician, this skilled freaking mercenary killer. That's who he is in this, but he's a total fucking lunatic. And this takes place in 2154. And of course, this is a social commentary on the elite class and how we're all left behind with the crumbs, and something along the lines of like a Medicare for all, if you will, where people don't have access to proper Medicare or medical care. And the elite have all the bells and the whistles and seemingly can survive anything and live indefinitely, as where we're down here just being like, could I maybe get a checkup once a year? And it's like, that's gonna cost you, I don't know. But I try not to talk politics on my channel too much, so we'll move on from that. But his films are just riddled with social commentary, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, this is, it's kind of inevitable. It's hard not to address these things in one way or the other. You just get into a fantasy scenario like this. The casting for the little guy who plays Matt Damon's character, Young, is really solid. Looks a lot like Matt Damon. I was impressed with the casting there. You got the robot police force, which actually they kind of look like Chappie. I mean, they look a lot like Chappie, kind of. Probably just reused some of the robot police for this to make Chappie. And he has a robot patrol officer that kind of reminds me of, what is it, Johnny Cab, right, from Total Recall? Also, actually, no, you know what he looks like? He more looks like the blow-up pilot from Airplane. That's kind of what he looks like. Anyway, so he goes in, and Matt Damon's humor in this is pretty good for the opening, because he doesn't really have a lot of witty lines later because he's pissed off. But, he's like, what's in here? And he's like, hair products mostly. Like, just a cute little dialogue like that. It's fun. And I'm like losing my voice. Like, it's pissing me off. I can't talk. It's kind of hard to do a channel when you can't speak. But I think that it's kind of ironic that this is a guy who's in and out of jail, and he has a parole officer, and he's constantly in trouble with the law, and they're the ones that just broke his arm, and he has to go to work to build the police officers that just broke his arm, that just are constantly controlling his life. Now, don't break the law, asshole. But in these situations where you live in this kind of squalor, crime is inevitable, and it's going to happen. I mean, that's how people deal with stuff like that. That's why you got to build up society so that there isn't an incentive to create crime and violence and drugs and all that shit. People turn to that stuff because they feel like they have nowhere else to go, because they feel like they have no chance, they have no education, they have no shot at a future. So, they got to do something to get ahead. They got to do something to gain the power back. So they, rush to using violence because it's the fastest way to become relevant. You don't have to study anything. You don't have to fucking go to college. You don't have to do anything. If you put a gun in someone's face, you instantly become the most important person in the world to that person in that moment. You become powerful instantaneously. So that's why violence exists and will always exist, because of that very reason. So anyway, and Jodie Foster's character in this, we don't get a lot of her, but she's this cold-hearted bitch that, although in the end she like lets herself bleed out, which I felt kind of was odd. You would think she would be like, "Get me to a med bay, get me to the fucking those machines that fix any illness." I mean, if you freaking reconstruct an entire face in 10 seconds, you could definitely fix a cut artery pretty damn quickly. The illegal ships try to come in. A bunch of them have kids, and then two of them get blown out of the sky. One of them gets there, and then one of the kids who has like these bone problems or whatever, this thing like fixes it. And for me, like, they get deported, but my little girl's fixed. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Now I'm back to the, now I'm back, and then I'm healthy and all is well. So totally worth it for that mom. So she got lucky. Everybody else did not get lucky, though. I'm not sure where the immigrants thought they were going to go, though. Like, where did they think they were going to hide on Elysium? Like, that whole place is just a very select few that they have identity tags on their arms, and they have their own homes, and they very much are this part of this very, very small system. Where did they think they were going to go? Where are they going to hide? They just went there to Keel, right? They were just trying to jump in a medbay thing and then get sent back to Earth, I guess. Which, yeah, I mean, one of them gets to successfully do that, and they were going to die, right? This is their last option. They got to rush there. They got to get healed. And if they die on the way, it doesn't matter because they were going to die anyway. So it makes sense, I guess. And the Elysium itself, of course, looks like a Halo ring. So he was making the Halo movie, and here we go. We kind of got a Halo scenario up there with Elysium. Very much a Halo. We got Diego Luna in this. Of course, I know him as Cassian Andor from Rogue One. And we've also got the guy who plays Pablo Escobar in the Narcos series on Netflix. He's also in the Elite Squad movies. Great actor. Really good character in this movie. That line boss that makes Matt Damon's character here get into that machine and like he gets radiated. Oh man. And then they won't even cover him. Like, he got hurt on the job like that. Totally the foreman's freaking fault. And then he's brought out and they don't say like, all right, you're part of the place. How about we just fix you up? No. They're like, well, too bad. Guess you got to just go die. Like, which isn't far-fetched. It's not extremely far off of the way things are. It's wild, man, that these guys have access to these things. Like, they could literally just throw them in one of those med bays in like 3 seconds and fix them. And they would have saved themselves a whole hell of a lot of problems because he wouldn't have come to Elysium and shut him down. But that's vengeance. That's karma coming back for them, I guess. So you ignore your employees and don't give them a fair enough share. They're gonna hurt you in the end. The surgery that he has to have that thing put on his body is gnarly. Like, the whole back of his head is cut open. It's all backdoor surgery. They tell him it's gonna hurt real bad, but then they put him out, and then he's completely out for the whole surgery. So I thought that was kind of odd. They were like, oh yeah, man, it's going to be fucking really rough and don't be a pussy. And then it's like, they pop him and he's like out and they just put the whole thing on and then he wakes up and he's fine. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Why wasn't he awake for? Why wasn't he screaming in agony? I mean, why tell him it's going to hurt? Like, I would rather it didn't, but I'm just saying, like, that would have made more sense because of how it was set up. And I've already talked about Kruger. I like that he has a sword and stuff. And then when he gets his face torn off, that scene was so rad. And then he goes and he has like the whole facial reconstruction and like the things on his cheeks are missing now because, of course, now this is organic tissue and it even looks like his skin is clearer. That's like, I mean, just completely eradicate your face and then have it reconstructed. And you'll have like all your blemishes removed and your crow's feet and you'll have like brand new skin. That's the way they do it, man. The little girl in this has leukemia, so of course they have more of a reason to get this done. And Then he fights those two guys and he crushes one into the floor, then throws him across the room into the wall, breaking the guy's body, and then shoots the other guy through the wall with that rail gun. It's a freaking what does he call? What does it say on the chem rail? So it's like a rail gun, and then he fires it at him, and it goes through the wall and rips the guy's arms and legs and head off, and his like torso just falls. It's it's so great. It's so great. I wish we would have saw it a little closer. I was a little too far away of a shot, but still, just watching that guy get racked like that was awesome. And then the two enhancement suit fight between our main villain and our main protagonist here going at it is a pretty fun fight. I would have enjoyed a little bit more action in those sequences, a longer fight, a little bit more to that. They also got that real like steady cam, like odd movement camera going on in the movie, which I feel like they don't properly utilize. It kind of does feel jolty and is not all that appealing visually. I've seen it used in other movies, especially like Kingsman, where that's amazing, and I love the style of that. The way Matthew Vaughn uses that is excellent, but for here, I don't know, Neill Blomkamp, it's maybe newer and he was just playing around with it. I don't know how many movies had used it before this, but it's an interesting, unique look. The joltiness of it wasn't all that appealing. And as I said, I think that the fights could have been a little lengthier and a little more climatic. So I did feel a little lackluster in that regard. But overall, I really enjoy this movie. I know his later films, Elysium and Chappie, are not well received. Most people don't like them, but I am a big fan. So I like the brutality of it. I like the horror R rating. I like the social commentaries. I like all of that stuff. And I think Matt Damon's really good in this movie. I like the story. I like the message. I like all of that stuff. And then at the end, he has to sacrifice his life so that everybody can get health care and everybody can be saved and everyone can be a citizen of Elysium. And then they send down all this. And it's such a dick thing that it's like they had the ability to do that entire time. They had the ability to save everybody, get all the cancers, anything wrong with you. But of course, I mean, the world's so overpopulated that everyone getting proper medical care like that would pretty much end the world, because no one would die and resources would become even more scarce and pollution would rise even more and so on and so forth. So in the end, it probably killed everybody. But regardless, at least they died healthy. I don't know. Anyways, all right, I gotta go to bed.